Right now at 6, a Wisconsin campus closing, why it's shutting down, and when it will impact students. Plus, we go inside Gunderson Air, an up-close look at how they're serving communities across the Coulee region.
Watching WKDT La Crosse, this is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ken Kozarowski. Emily is off tonight. The Milwaukee Brewers are on the brink of elimination. Starting tonight, they need to win 4 in a row to keep their playoff hopes alive. Only one team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. That would be the Boston Red Sox in 2004 in the ALCS against the Yankees. Jose Quintana will get the ball tonight for the Brew Crew. Dodgers countering with Shohei Ohtani. First pitch set at 7:30. Now, don't hit the panic button just yet. We asked a psychic to tap into her intuition for some answers. News 8 Now's Allison Fergut is in the newsroom tonight with the results. Allison.
Although it's not looking great for the Brew Crew, a local psychic astrologer says all hope is not lost yet.
It's been a record-breaking season for the Milwaukee Brewers, and psychic astrologer Heather Carmona says everything can be explained based on when the franchise moved to Milwaukee in 1970. Carmona says the Brewers are going through somewhat of a rebirth this season thanks to a nodal return, and that's a big reason for their success. But if they want to succeed going forward, they need to let go of perfection.
The lesson here for them is to use their spiritual gifts to move themselves forward, and that's why everything's been happening the way it has this year.
The future may look murky, but Carmona says the stars could still align. It's all about belief in the powers beyond the veil.
Miracles happen, and the Brewers have pulled out more than one miracle this year. So it's time for more, and it's time for that good energy to be pushed forward to the team. We can do this. They can do this.
And I still believe in the team's magic brew this year, so although I'm not a psychic, I'll predict that we'll play at least one more game back in Milwaukee before the season ends. Reporting in the newsroom, Allison Fergut, News 8 Now.
Wish I shared that optimism. Logan Middle School students got out of the classroom today for the Panther Prowl Color 5K. Students hit the course running, walking, and rolling. This year, the run doubles as a fundraiser for a new Ninja Playland for the school. They've already surpassed their goal of $10,000. Teachers say students look forward to the event every year.
Having an opportunity where kids can be together outside in a really healthy way with activity and motion and things that they like to do, they're more inclined to socialize and make those connections with people.
Northside Elementary students were also invited to join the fun. The Salvation Army giving away free coats to kids today. The organization hosting the Coats for Kids distribution in its warehouse over on Nelson Place. No registration was required.
The Salvation Army is always looking to do the most good and help on the journey of people's lives. And one of the things that we know is that in winter, in the Midwest, it gets cold. Even in fall, we've had a few cold days already. And we don't want to see people freezing. We want to see people that feel warm, loved, and cared for.
Quick Trip is sponsoring the coat donation. There will be another distribution next Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the same location. A bit of a warm one to kick off the weekend. Is that going to continue all weekend long, Greg?
A little bit. We get kind of half a half here for your weekend too. Overall, yeah, it was mild today. We had a lot of 70s out there, potentially near 80. Now we have a front coming through with some showers for some areas, but if you notice the radar right there, not a lot of activity going on. And a lot of this is just going to be some cloud cover, really. If you look at Eau Claire, La Crosse right now, pretty much just a few clouds out there, not much going on radar. You can see the road cams right there, all looking very nice right now. Further south we go, further north, excuse me, we go. We have a little bit of cloud cover, but Eau Claire, I think you're pretty much done with any type of precipitation for tonight. It's just going to be clearing skies, lighter winds. The story for southwest Wisconsin, northeast Iowa, that is where you'll probably continue to see some showers and maybe a storm developing throughout the evening to about midnight. That's where we got the activity, but not much going on right now. So later on, we'll kind of time out that activity. Yes, we do have some more mild conditions for the weekend, but we also got a little bit more like mid-October-like conditions for the weekend too. So I'll explain all that a bit later.
All right. Thank you, Greg. It's one of the Coulee region's most high-tech ambulances. News 8 Now's Grace Monk went on a ride-along with Gunderson Air.
Gunderson Air plays a critical role in saving lives in the Coulee region. And today, we got a closer look at that. It's a job like no other.
We can't deny that we have a really good view from our office. However, it's pretty intense most of the times.
Gunderson Air's medical teams are made up of 3 people, a pilot, a paramedic, and a nurse. It's a crew that's designed to face any and all emergencies.
They get a lot more experience in critical care stuff, so they get a lot more in-hospital experience, whereas the paramedics have a lot more out-of-hospital experience, and that really is a synergistic relationship.
Crew members work 24-hour shifts. One team is located in Sparta and the other in Decorah, Iowa. The job requires medical staff to learn skills that traditional nurses or paramedics wouldn't have.
Nurse in the hospital, you've got a whole team. You have pharmacists, you have radiology, you have your specialist doctors that are readily available to answer questions, where we have a medical director who has made sure that we are ready to handle, whatever comes our way.
Crews do everything from responding to a roadside emergency to moving patients between hospitals.
Secure equipment, secure.
The helicopter allows them to transport patients faster, a crucial asset when there's no time to lose.
It provides the patient, no matter where you're located, whether you're in a small community hospital or you're on the side of a road somewhere, that bridge to that specialized care that you need.
Reporting in La Crosse, Grace Monk, News 8 Now.
UW-Platteville will be closing its Baraboo-Sauk County campus. It'll happen May 22nd after the spring semester. Classes will continue as planned until then. Officials say it's due to declining enrollment on campus. This year, total enrollment is 178. The campus was initially designed to accommodate 350. Toma Health says it's saving money and the environment with a reusable container system. The hospital launched the OZ system in its cafe back in July. Staff and visitors use reusable containers instead of disposable ones, then return them to drop boxes where they're cleaned. 3 months in, the hospital says it's saving hundreds of dollars a month in supply costs.
I think that we might be the first critical access hospital in the country to adopt this program, if not the first, one of the very few that do.
Toma Health is among a limited number of facilities using the OZ system. And it is the final week of high school football here in Wisconsin. Teams all across the state gearing up for week number 9. News 8 Now sports director Jacob Lenzendorf joins us from a big one tonight in town. Jacob.
Yeah, good evening, Ken. A big one in town indeed. It's not quite the drama we had last year when there was a chance for a 5-way tie and that happened, but there is a chance for another shared title here in the conference tonight. Central hosts Onalaska, and a Riverhawk win means that they win the league title outright. Now, if Onalaska can pick up their 5th win in a row, that means Holman will have a chance to tie for the top spot. A lot up for grabs tonight, and of course, teams outside the MVC. We've got teams on the bubble trying to punch their ticket to the playoffs, and we've got an action-packed night ahead as we near the postseason. And coming up in sports, guys, we'll have Cade joining me along with Mitch Olson, head coach of the Riverhawks, to get his thoughts on the game tonight. But Ken, a beautiful night for some football. Kind of feels like summer a little bit, but we'll take it. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jacob. Coming up tonight, multiple TikTok accounts, one suspect. How federal prosecutors connected a Wisconsin man to months of threatening videos targeting ICE agents. And taking action after tragedy. How a Monroe County family is enacting change after the loss of a family member.
Monday at 5 a.m., the Blackhawk Bridge officially closes, what it means for your commute. Plus, breast cancer deaths are dropping. What's behind the good news? And Walmart or Target, who has the cheapest Halloween costumes? When we see you at 5 a.m.
Today marks 1 year since the death of Takara Manning. News 8 Now's Brooklyn Hine joins us with how the Sparta woman's family is trying to enact lasting change for domestic abuse survivors. Brooklyn.
Friends and family of Takara Manning gathered this afternoon to remember her life and call for reform. At 2:45 p.m., the exact time she passed 1 year ago today, Takara's family released balloons at Sparta Memorial Park, some purple, to represent domestic abuse awareness. Her mother continues to work with state leaders to introduce Takara's Law to create stricter bond requirements for people accused of violent crimes.
So that law is going to try to stop repeat offenders, because in Takara's case, she was a victim of a repeat offender.
Andrew Nauman is accused of Manning's death. He was out on a signature bond for a separate violent incident when the alleged murder happened. His trial is expected next summer. Family and friends say today's balloon release is a reminder of Takara's impact and the ongoing fight to turn heartbreak into action. Reporting in the studio, Brooklyn Hine, News 8 Now.
Thank you, Brooklyn. A Wisconsin man is charged after allegedly posting TikToks calling for ICE agents to be shot and killed. 38-year-old Andrew Stanton was indicted Wednesday on 3 federal charges, including threatening to assault, kidnap, or murder a U.S. official. Prosecutors say the videos were posted between August and October of this year from various accounts, but they believe Stanton was behind all of them. On a breaking news out of Washington, President Donald Trump says he is commuting the sentence of former U.S. Representative George Santos. Santos was sentenced to 7 years in prison in April after pleading guilty to fraud and identity theft of 11 people, including family members, to make donations to his campaign. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is meeting with President Trump at the White House to discuss ending the war with Russia. Zelensky is pushing for a ceasefire and requests American-made Tomahawk missiles to strengthen Ukraine's position against Russia. The meeting follows yesterday's 2-hour phone call between Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin.
We have to get together. It's a very small group of people. It's the president, and the president. Okay, 3 presidents. And I'm the mediator president.
Trump says he's considering sending the missiles, though Moscow warns it would escalate the conflict. President Trump and Putin agreed to meet face-to-face in Hungary for additional talks. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton is in court pleading not guilty today. The Trump critic is accused of mishandling classified materials, including sharing classified national defense information with relatives between April 2018 and September 2019. We'll have more news ahead tonight, but first.
We still got some warm conditions out there, mild for the weekend, but the second half of the weekend, we're back to October-like conditions. We'll tell you what the temperatures look like and if we got any more precipitation this weekend as well. That all coming up on your first warm weather update after the break. Well, we still have some showers going on, but for the most part, a lot of areas are probably not going to see much in the way of activity this evening. Really, it's going to be south of La Crosse where all this activity so far hasn't really quite developed. We have a few showers just west of Prairie du Chien, but overall, it's still fairly quiet. But this is the area that would be of the concern to see the best shot to see the showers. Further north and west you go. Unlikely to see much other than cloud cover and actually clearing skies throughout the night. Big picture shows this front is pushing through the area. Not a lot of moisture with it. It's kind of getting fairly weak and weakening as it comes through. The next one to watch is the one out towards Bismarck. That's the one that'll be coming through tomorrow night, providing probably the best opportunity to see rainfall. But a lot of this right now is kind of overdone and probably not reaching the ground. Over the next few hours, we could see more development. Basically from about Prairie du Chien northeast up maybe to Vokesfield. That is about probably the furthest stretch it's going to get. That'll continue throughout maybe 2 to 3 hours. Beyond that, Eau Claire, La Crosse, Winona, all the areas up to northwest are going to start to clear out and be fairly quiet. It's just this area just south of there may continue to see this on and off showers as this front begins to push slowly east up to about midnight. And then after that, it pushes east of the area and it's fairly quiet overnight. The only problem waking up tomorrow, you see a lot of this low cloud development in kind of the valley areas. That could be fog or low clouds to start off because we're still fairly somewhat moist or warm. Something to keep in mind of for tomorrow morning if you're out and about real early. It won't last long, but it could be an impact for travel. As we go throughout the afternoon time frame, fairly quiet, some sunshine out there, light winds, still mild conditions. And then the next one that I mentioned will be approaching the Twin Cities later in the afternoon. And then we'll start seeing that basically line of really light rain is what you could call it. Begin to approach Eau Claire by 7. And then really kind of, you can see a little bit of a rotation. It's going to start spinning up a little bit and sit over the area south of Eau Claire basically after midnight. That area will continue to see this light rain all the way to about 2 to 3. And some areas east of La Crosse could see it as long as 4 to 5 p.m. The rest of the area beyond that, you'll start getting that northwest wind behind it too. So the winds will pick up after midnight. That northwest become quite breezy as this precipitation finally exits the area by about 6 to 7 a.m. for far east areas. The big story for Sunday is just those breezy conditions, but we'll have more sunshine going in the afternoon. Now, precipitation-wise, it really drops off once you go further to La Crosse, further south. With this opportunity, you could pick up maybe as much as 3/4 of an inch of rain, and most of this would likely fall tomorrow night. Further north and west, not going to get much, even for tonight and through tomorrow. Very light amounts. La Crosse maybe in that 1/4 to about half, depending on how far that band sits over the area. Saturday, tomorrow's temperature is still very mild, well above average. As we go into Sunday, it's a different story with that northwest wind. It's definitely going to feel more October-like, mid to upper 50s, so that definitely is a change, but it's where we should be for this time of year. Going back to work, we're going to kind of flip it around. We have another system approaching, so the winds will turn right around. We'll go back into the 60s, maybe mid-60s. So it'll be a nice start to the week. Unfortunately, that's only lasting one day because we have another front coming through with a lot more wind than precipitation, and that brings our temperatures right back down. Some areas Tuesday may struggle to hit 50, and then I think a lot of areas that have not seen a frost or freeze going into Wednesday morning likely are going to see a frost or freeze here, which is about time anyway. So enjoy Saturday. Monday's not too bad. Most of next week really is going back to where we should be. So
yeah, normal fall next week,
pretty much
which
a
a
normal
bunch
fall.
of people are looking forward to.
I am. Yes.
Thank you, Greg. Coming up next in sports, the Brewers are looking to avoid an NLCS sweep against the Dodgers. Plus, it's the final week before playoffs get underway in prep football. Jacob and Cade are live from the game of the night next.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports.
Good evening and hello from Roger Herring Stadium. It's the final week of the regular season for high school football here in Wisconsin. Some teams are trying to clinch a playoff berth, and some teams are trying to win conference crowns tonight, Kate.
One of those teams, the La Crosse Central Riverhawks, they've already clinched a share of the conference title, but a win tonight over Onalaska, and they'll be solo champions of the MVC.
All right, we now welcome in head coach of La Crosse Central, Mitch Olson, and coach, a big one here tonight. It kind of feels like a playoff game as well. How does this kind of get you prepared for the playoffs?
Yeah, you know, we're just focused on tonight, but obviously it's beneficial to be playing a really good team going into the playoffs, and every team you play is good.
Coach, you've got a bunch of great guys on this team, a lot of good seniors. It's senior night here, but one senior in particular, Christian Rudrud, he's been a workhorse for your team, quarterback, running back, really good on the defensive side of the ball. What can you say about him and what he means to your team?
Yeah, I think he just kind of embodies our spirit. You know, the kid's so physical and just ultra competitive. When you have a leader like that, it really sets the tone for everybody else to come out and play the same way.
And Mitch, Onalaska, a very talented and well-coached team. I'm sure you've been scouting them all week. What has to happen for you guys to leave with a W tonight?
Yeah, we need to play good on defense. You know, ever since Yashinsky's been at Onalaska, they've hit some really explosive offenses. We need to play well on defense. Then offensively, we need to take care of the ball and make sure we don't give them any extra possessions.
Absolutely. All right, Coach, we'll let you get back
Appreciate
to things.
it.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck.
Best of luck tonight.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll talk some Brewers now as well because it's a big game coming up tonight. And Cade, Brewers on the road trying to avoid getting swept against the Dodgers.
Down 3-0 in a series, so not impossible for them to do it, but they got to get a good pitching performance out of Jose Quintana, and the bats have to wake up. They're going up against the two-way phenom, Shohei Ohtani, so maybe they can get to him and get to that bullpen. I guess we'll see.
All right, and we also have the Play of the Week winner tonight, and let's roll the winner. It is Prairie du Chine's Brock Radloff, the sophomore, getting the call on the end around. He would bounce it outside, he'd find a hole, and he would hit the hole, running a fantastic play. And the Blackhawks are playing well. That's a team you'll see in the playoffs here coming up as he took this one to the house, and the Blackhawks escaped with a 28-26 victory. So, Cade, some big games in the MVC. We'll see if there's a tie, but there's also playoffs on the line for others.
A lot of other teams putting it out there. We'll have all of the highlights tonight during the Friday Night Frenzy, so be sure to tune in at 10. It's going to be a fun one. And then playoffs next week, I'm excited. I'm excited for some postseason.
Hey, and it feels very nice out here as well. We're going to get those cold temperatures, I'm sure,
I'm not
coming
ready.
here soon, but it's a great night for football. So we will have one final check on that forecast after the break.
All right, Raiders look too busy right now, but really where that red line is and further south, that is where I think you'll still see some showers and thunderstorms even developing here through about midnight. So that would be evening activities could be impacted. Right now there's one near Prairie du Chine, a shower. Further north of that, you're likely not going to see it. Tomorrow's still mild, 60s to 70s. We should be in the 50s, so enjoy that because come Sunday, once we get the rain finish up Saturday night, it's more in the 50s. And more typical fall-like conditions for Sunday.
All right, so if you're south of that line, if you're heading out the door to a football game, maybe have an umbrella just in case.
Just have it handy.
All right,
Yep.
Thank you, Greg, and thank you all for joining us tonight at 6. We'll see you tonight at 10.